Well, Impact is no longer Impact because come January 2024, they're returning to the name TNA. Oodalali. Now the really cool thing about this is that even though it was true anyway, it now does mean come 2024, Impact Wrestling or TNA has basically been going for 24 years. And when it comes to a wrestling company, well, you gotta give them their plaudits, they have totally and utterly smashed it. Also, hello my friends and welcome to Ups and Downs with me, Simon Miller. And that's right, look, I'm wearing a damn neck brace and have to wear sunglasses because that idiot moron Joe Hendry assaulted me, unprovoked by the way, and burned my eyes with chicken hot sauce. Now this is how I have to present videos, but don't worry, because this Friday at Turning Point, presented by Impact Wrestling / TNA, it is me versus Joe, live from Newcastle, and look, if I can get recovered, I will whip his ass. If I can't, I'm just gonna sue him. Let's up those downs. We just had the most silly start to Bound for Glory, because it was Kenta versus Chris Sabin, X Division title, and they just went nuts. As Sabin has come up too, we do have to sing his praises, because he's basically existed as long as TNA has been going, and he just gets better and better and better. He is absolutely one of the most underrated guys there is. We really sold him as the underdog too, because Kenta was just in asshole mode here, including hitting the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, surprise roll-up, and putting his foot on the ropes. Now it didn't work and the ref was very annoyed, but again, what a dick. There was then yet another awesome 1-2-ooh after the double stomp as Sabin got his shoulder up at the last second. When things got really interesting, because of course, you know, we were in Chicago and the GTS is Kenta's move, but fans associate it with somebody else. So as soon as he went for it, you could just smell some intrigue in the air. But Christopher wasn't having any of that, and he got out of it. But this didn't work at all because Kenta then just started to slap the shit out of Sabin. I was like, all right, bro, calm down. Although ultimately, Chris hit the clothesline from hell, Michigan. And I love the fact he calls it that. It always makes me laugh. When he followed up with the cradle shock, and he got the 1-2-3. So this was just such a good match to kick things off. Made your bum all nice in the seat where you'd put it. The hell does that mean? Where'd that even come from? The point was, it was a comfortable and lovely watch. Didn't mean that either. Let's get it up. And talk about a switch right after this too, because it was the Monsters Ball match, and it was totally crazy. And if you don't know too, there is a pre-step to this, where every single competitor has to be locked in a separate dark room for 24 hours, where they're not allowed to eat, and they're not allowed to drink. I mean, why wouldn't you agree to that? Steve Macklin, Moose and Rhino also started to brawl instantly when PCO walked out, and as ever, I swear this guy has a death wish. There's literally nothing he won't do. I mean, he got backdropped over the top rope onto a ladder almost instantly. So I started to go wibbly jibbly when he also hit a senton onto Macklin. And of course, he did this on the outside. So his back must hate him, just screams at him every day. He's also 55 years old, which is even more nuts when Moose didn't want to get outdone. So he got a bunch of thumbtacks and he laid them onto some cinder blocks. I was like, man, nobody has ever made that combination, not even in an RPG. Of course, eventually PCO got bombed of power onto this mess. That was it. I was just staring off into the distance. I didn't know what to do. Rhino then too felt a little bit left out, so he revealed a barbed wire table, which once again shouldn't be a thing, when Bully Ray came out and just absolutely murked Steve Macklin through this, all because Macklin called him soft recently. I was like, Bully, come here. I don't think this was an appropriate response. PCO then re-emerged and you could see the tacks in his body and I was like, oh man, I just want to go home right now, even though I already was home. When Moose had a chair, Rhino just gored the shit out of him. I was like, that's it, I'm done. As they were both down though, PCO then hit another reanimator and he pinned Moose, and amazingly, he got the 1-2-3. And that was double astonishing, because I'm pretty sure he is done with the company soon. Maybe I'm wrong. Still, what an absolute brawl, and you cannot get mad at individuals when they give you so much effort and they put their bodies on the line such a way. I mean, again, I was freaking out the whole time, but up. Which is when Bound for Glory continued with the surprises, because we have brand new tag team champions. This was cool as well because Chris Bay had secured this thanks to the Feast or Fire match, so that just ties into the overall narrative. You do want to get in that thing, and you want to be successful, especially because otherwise you're going to get fired. Him and Ace Austin are also a really good team, as are the Rascals, and we had a story here because Miguel and Wentz have basically spent the last 6 months or so totally screwing them over. I swear somebody on commentary also told us that Trey and Zach are unbeaten for like 4 years when they do team, so that added a little bit of intrigue. Otherwise, what am I meant to do? They just went move, flip, dive, left, right, up, down, oh, whoopsie daisy, you didn't see that coming, and every damn thing was so smooth and so perfect, and it made me question my own life. How are they so good? I mean, at one point too, the Rascals just went cut into the rope, Inseguri, Code Breaker, Nick Breaker, shooting standing style press. And there was like a Mortal Kombat combo. And then Chris Bay was like, you can't usurp me. And he broke up a pin when he went to the top rope, and he just dived into the entire pile. I was like, yep, wrestling doesn't make any sense, but I love it. There's also an important life lesson here for the kids, and that is not to be a butthole. Because the Rascals went to use the spray can, they accidentally spray painted each other in the face. I was like, well, man, you should have seen this coming. When we got that Art of Finesse combo finisher, which does look really good, 1, 2, 3, brand new champions. Once again, this was just so entertaining, and the crowd was super into it. It was just nice to see Ace and Chris celebrating together, absolutely getting it up. When I am totally screwed again, because it was Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Will Ospreay, and well, you already know. I suppose the best way to get this across is that come the end of 2023, this match will be in the Best Match of the Year category, as will both individuals when it comes to the category of Best Wrestler of the Year. I mean, every time they step into the ring, they just create magic. So when they came together, well, David Copperfield better watch out. Fans were also losing their mind before they had done anything. And then when the bell did ring, I mean, the speed, the sheer speed. They went at 100 miles an hour, and everything they did just clicked, like somebody clicking their fingers. I mean, that is literally the worst thing I've ever said. I mean, if you had told me that they were secretly on horses here, and that's how they were achieving this speed, I would have believed you. What? Speedball also avoided this dive at one point when he did a dive of his own, which was totally nuts, and given that they were on the outside, Will Ospreay then hit a Oscar onto the ring apron. The hardest part of the ring. He then pretty much hit another one almost instantly when they got into a kick battle. And when the hell do you ever see a kick battle? When he also smashed Mike Bailey with the hidden blade, and he got the 1-2-ooh. Now I think that most people assumed that Ospreay was going to win here, even though his New Japan title wasn't on the line. So when Speedball hit the Ultimo weapon, and he got this near fall, honestly, it was so close. Not only did the crowd come unglued, I did it in my house, which makes no sense, because I'm literally by myself, but I bit. He did the same with the Meteor Rain, and I was just losing it at this point, especially because Will was like, oh man, you want to hit me with double moves, do you? I'll do the same. And he hit the Stars Clash, and he hit the Tiger Driver, and then Bailey was kicking out, and I was like, right, that's it, I don't know where we're going. It turned out that doubling up on moves was the way, because Ospreay then hit another hidden blade, and he hit the Stormbreaker, and he got the 1-2-3. But have I done this justice? No, I haven't. Mostly because Joe Hendry did break my neck, and now he's ruining my career too, but just trust in old Simon. Go and watch this, have a good time, marvel about how talented these two individuals are. To the point, it doesn't just get an up, it gets the golden up. Well, it was right back into the sports entertainment, and I thought to myself, man, Impact is really good at pacing up a show, they just know when to switch it. Or it was the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, which is essentially like a Raw Rumble, but the last two competitors do square off in a one-on-one match to see who's gonna win. And look at this list of entrants. So we had Jake Something, Eddie Edwards, Kenny King, Juventud Guerrera of all people, Johnny Swinger, Giselle Shaw, Jody Threat, Kylan King, Bully Ray, the debuting Sonny Kiss, which I went absolutely crazy for because I love Sonny Kiss, Matt Cardona, Jordine Grace, Eric Young, Brian Myers, Heath Kazarian, Rich Swann, Jonathan Gresham, Dirty Dango, and the law-breaking fool, Joe Hendry. Now, I don't mean to go over this again, but once more, if I am able to get cleared, I will be at Turning Point on Friday to teach him a lesson. Or I'll be there with my lawyer. There's only one way to find out. Crazy Steve also got involved in this at one point before Tommy Dreamer just arrived to chase him off. And do you know who eliminated Giselle Shaw? It was Sonny Kiss. So surely something has to happen there. We also got the What's Up spot that is never going to die. It's going to be 2094, and that's still happening. And I was laughing because that chump, Joe Hendry, got thrown out by Brian Myers. I was like, you totally deserve it. We also had Jonathan Gresham and Jordine Grace going at it, which I also enjoyed because, of course, in real life, they are a married couple. And Oleg Prudis was back, the former Vladimir Kozlov. He just whooped everybody's ass before security got rid of him. I was like, well, you have been absent for a while. You may as well get involved. Matt Cardona also tricked his best buddy Brian Myers because he threw him out of there, which was also quite humorous. When we got to the last two, and that's right, it was Bully Ray versus Jordynne Grace. And I was like, man, Kansas, we are not in Toto anymore. I mean, whoever thought this would be a thing? But Impact booked it so damn well, because even though Bully had won the last one of these, Jordynne Grace was able to hit the Grace driver, and she beat him. And you could say what you like about Bully Ray, but that felt like a big deal. She also wasn't wasting any time because she did call her shot instantly, hard to kill. She wants a Knockouts title shot, and she is going to get it because they are the rules. And this, once again, was just so well put together. And after entrant, I was like, well, who the flub is going to be next? That's totally the vibe you should be going for. And another up, because Joe Hendry got thrown out of there. What a goober. As we have brought this belt up too, it was right into our Knockouts title match for the evening. Mickie James versus Trinity. I mean, you can't get mad at that. It's just such a wild thing to see in 2023, considering their pasts. And we did have a story here, because Mickie James never lost her championship. She had to give up the belt because of injury. Trinity also had this unique offense, because at one point she kind of floated over Mickie James and sort of wiggled her ass in her face, so she must have been talking to Rikishi. But James was all about this. We'll just leave it there. I don't think we can keep talking about it. It's a family show. They also did this cool double head thingamajig where they both landed on the outside, so we teased the count out. When they got back in the ring, and they just looked at each other because this was super serious, and we started the forearms. James won that battle when she hit the ropes and got smashed with this absolutely brutal rear view. When we got to the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, surprise roll-up, amazingly, it didn't work. Trinity then hit the split-legged moonsault, which always looked good, but when James went for the Mickie DDT, Trinity instead hit this like low head scissors thing. She went into Starstruck, but then James went for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, but Trinity went back for Starstruck, and with nowhere to go, Mickie tapped out. We also sold this as a passing of the torch moment because Mickie James was like, it's yours, now it's yours. And if Mickie James does go back to WWE to join her husband Nick Aldis, I think that will be the cherry on the cake. These two are very good wrestlers. This was a very good pro wrestling match. Trinity continues to impress as champion. Giving it an up. It just meant this whole pay-per-view was very entertaining and diverse, which also ties into the main event, World Championship, Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander. They totally brought it. We also tied this into Josh's story as well, because much like the previous match, he never lost this title, and he had to give it up because of injury. But Alex was like, oh yeah, that's right, you do have a gammy arm. My word. He tried to rip it from Josh Alexander's body. Now, thankfully, Josh was able to fight back and did the figure 4 round reach at the ring post, to somewhere Bret Hart was like, man, I'm happy right now. But he was always screwed because he was down one limb, which led us all to ask the question, did he come back too soon? I think the answer is yes. He did have a plan though, because at one point he was like, wait a minute, this Alex has a leg, which means he has an ankle, and I have the ankle lock, so why don't I try to break it? Or actually, when you do get into the meat and bones of this match, both dudes are total psychopaths. Shelly didn't want to get involved in that though, so he smacked Josh Alexander so hard, his headgear came off at one stage. Look, even though this is just clothes, it must have some kind of significance, because I freaked out like his head was going to come off. I mean, that's ridiculous. He then did it again too, because he whammed him with a super kick so hard, Josh Alexander's mouthpiece came out, and this just goes to show why wrestling can work so well. I mean, all that was doing was protecting his teeth, but I was like, well, that's it. He's totally done. It was actually true too, because after he had hit one shell shock, he then hit another one and he got the 1, 2, 3. I've accidentally zoomed through this match way too quickly because it was a stellar main event. And if you want to look at the main event, it's like having to carry the load. Shouldn't have said that. Well, they absolutely did. And it's getting it up. I also think that means after a victory, it's going to be Will Ospreay versus Alex Shelley today. So Impact/TNA just continues to smash it. So yeah, overall, bound for glory, getting it up. And if you want 3 hours of good wrestling today, I present you with this. Now, please do leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about this show and what an idiot Joe Hendry is. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which will be ups and downs for SmackDown, so we can continue to cross the pro wrestling streams. Head over to whatculture.com, follow us on social media, and ultimately, just have a good time, my friends. That's what life is all about. Can't see, but I will see you soon.